Hi everyone, today I'm going to introduce you a brand new car OBD gauge just released into the market. This is the P21 series car OBD gauge. So right out from the box, you will have this main display unit with this bracket which you can stick on your dashboard. But if you don't want to stick on your dashboard, you can also remove this bracket and use this windshield suction cup instead, which you can mount it on your windshield. And then from the box, you will have the OBD2 cable. So most cars will be using this cable, which you will plug in this end into your car OBD2 port under your steering area. And this end will be connected into the main display unit here. So by using OBD2 cable, you will get your car information and data. For example, your speed, your car RPM, your water temperature, voltage, turbo boost, and so on. So for older cars that do not have a compatible OBD2 port, for example, old Japanese imports, you can use the USB cable instead. So by using USB cable, of course you will not get your car data, but this unit has got its own inbuilt GPS system, so you will still be able to get speed from the GPS system. Right, so let's turn it on and see what's inside. This set is exclusive, made for DFx Singapore. So on startup, you will see our logo to prove its authenticity. There, you can see our logo. So this is the main page. There are 4 buttons on the top. The first one is power on and off button. This is the selection button, left, right. And the 4th one will be your menu selection. So if you want to change the display, you just need to press the M button on the right. It will change to other display. Right, back to the main page. So to enter settings, you just need to press and hold M. Use the selection buttons to go to settings. Press M again. So the first one, language setting, is self-explanatory. Sound switch, this is to turn off all this beeping sound. Speed alarm, let's check what's inside. Okay, it has been defaulted to 150 kilometer. So if you go above 150 kilometer, the unit will give you an auto beeping to tell you that you have exceeded your speed limit, and the side light bar will also turn red. Of course, you can change it if you want it to be lower or higher. You just use the arrow button, right? And then to confirm, press the right button once, and there you go, the setting has been saved. Coolant alarm will be the same, defaulted to 120 degrees Celsius. Of course, you can set it lower. For most cars, I would recommend you to set it to 110 degrees Celsius. This will be a more conservative value, because if you wait until it goes up to 120 degrees Celsius, it may be too late. Okay. RPM alarm defaulted at 6,000, but of course if you are driving a manual car, you can also have fun with this OBD gauge, you can set it to something like 2500 or 3000 RPM. So when it reaches that shifting gear range, this thing will also turn red, flashing, and with an oral beep to tell you it's time to change your gear. So for automatic car, of course, you leave it to 6000, so it doesn't bug you every time it changes gear. Battery alarm defaulted to 10.5 volt. I would recommend you to set it to probably 11.5 volt, 11.5 to 12 volt. So if your alternator fails when you are driving and your battery starts to discharge, when it has gone down to below 11.5, this thing will also give you an alarm. Speed adjustment, very important, take note. As you know, our car speedometer manufacturer will normally add in some addition to what is displayed. So for example, if you are traveling on the expressway, you are doing 80 kilometers shown on your speedometer, but your actual speed may be only at 75 kilometers. When the police use a radar gun to shoot you, they will also see it is 75 kilometers, or probably you may have a phone next to you and the GPS may also show you 75 kilometers. Now, why is that so? Normally, the manufacturer will add in so you will not exceed your speed limit, and also you will not get the speed ticket. But other reasons could also be you may have changed or upgraded your tire rim size. So with different rim size, and if you have not calibrated your speedometer, yes, then there will be also a speed difference. This OBD gauge will get the exact speed from your car. It doesn't come from your analog speedometer. So that's why when you are doing 80 shown on your speedometer, this unit itself may be showing 75 kilometers as well. So if you want to match this speed to your analog speedometer, you can put in the addition, right? So on default, it has already added 7%. 107 means it has added 7%, right? So if you are doing 100, this unit will add in 7%, which will be 7 kilometers. So it will be showing 107 kilometers instead. And most probably it will also correspond and match your analog speedometer. Now if you want to fine-tune your speed, you can still come back to this page. For example, if you are cruising at 80 shown on your analog and this digital is still showing lower, then yes, you can come back to this page. You can probably try 2% addition. You can try 109 and see. Then you go back and cruise at 80 and see whether it matches or not. But if you have overcompensated, now this one is showing higher than what is displayed on your analog, you can come back to this page, lower it down, right? Lower it down instead. And then press the right button, OK, to confirm and exit. Okay, next one, speed offset. This one, normally you don't adjust. Most cars you don't need to adjust, because when your car stops, your speed should automatically go down to 0. But on rare occasion, if your car has stopped and this thing does not return to 0, but it is showing 5 kilometers left on this display, then you can come here, speed offset, and adjust it. So you come here, you probably put it to 6 kilometers. So next time when your car has stopped and this thing previously was showing 5 kilometers left, after you have adjusted to 6, it should return to 0 after you stop. But for now, for most cars, just leave it on default. It has been defaulted to 2 kilometers. Next one, battery adjust. Same explanation as the speed adjustment. If you have another meter to measure your car voltage, for example, it is showing 12 volt, then this unit should be showing 12 volt as well, as it is drawing the power from your OBD port or your USB port. So it should be the same as what is shown on other meter. But in any case, if you find your voltage is different, of course you can come back here and adjust as well. Engine size. This is to set your engine displacement according to your car, 1.5, 1.6 liter, or maybe 2 liter or 3 liter car. This is for the computation of fuel consumption. Fuel adjustment, leave it to default 100%. Brightness, for now it is on auto mode, so the sensor behind will take in the brightness and measure it and adjust the screen brightness as appropriately. But of course, if you want to manually adjust, you can also manually adjust it from the most dim position to the brightest. The brightest should be number 8. And you can go back to automatic. Okay, next one, the atmosphere setting. This is to set the behavior of this sidebar lighting. So the first one, RPM, is to correspond to your car RPM. So every time whenever your RPM increases, this thing will slowly turn to red until it hits the limit set, and this thing will be flashing red to tell you it's time to change gear or you are reaching the limit of your RPM. Or you can set the light bar to correspond to speed instead. So as you go higher, this light bar will slowly turn to red as you are approaching your speed limit. Or you can set it to permanent blue, permanent red, or even permanent purple, or off if you find it is too distracting. Unit will be in degrees Celsius defaulted. Speed unit defaulted to kilometer an hour. Of course, if you are staying in the overseas, you can set it to miles per hour. Next one will be some distance. This is to set your car mileage, but most of the cars, after you have shut down your car, this thing will turn off and your OBD port will cut off power as well. So even though you have set it to match the mileage displayed on your dashboard, on your next startup, this unit may return the mileage to 0. So you can just leave it, don't need to set the mileage. Okay, this one, the power off time, it has been defaulted to 10 seconds, meaning that after you have turned off your car engine, this thing will automatically turn off after 10 seconds. But there are certain cases where you need to set this to longer time. For example, if you are driving a hybrid car, for hybrid cars, sometimes when you are stopped at the traffic light or while you're cruising, sometimes your car will cut off the engine and you will drive on the battery alone. So when your engine has been cut off while you're still driving, this unit will detect that the RPM has gone to 0 and it will try to shut off after 10 seconds. So to prevent the shutdown, you can actually set the timing longer. So for hybrid cars, I would suggest you to set it to probably 120 seconds, which is about 2 minutes. But if you still find it too short and your car still shut down, sometimes you can set it even longer. Set it to probably 180 seconds or 240 seconds. This will be 4 minutes. And it can even go all the way to maximum 300 seconds. 300 seconds is 5 minutes. So if you're driving a hybrid car, remember to set this timing from the default 10 seconds to something higher, probably between 2 to 5 minutes. Sleep voltage. This will be defaulted to RPM. So for most cars, just leave it on default RPM, right? Only for some rare cases where even after the power off time, you have set it accordingly and it still doesn't shut off. Like for example, after 10 seconds, it doesn't shut off. Then you may try to change this to another mode. You can set it to COM or even voltage. So probably you can try voltage, set it to something like 12.5. So after you power off and this thing doesn't turn off after 10 seconds, then it will try to power off once it detects your car voltage drops below 12.5 volt. And if your car is a normal car, just leave it on default RPM, right? Time adjust, you don't actually need to adjust this because this thing has got a GPS on its own. So whenever you are driving outdoor, it will sync the clock to the GPS and it is very accurate. So just leave it on default. You don't need to adjust it. Okay, the last setting on the menu will be factory reset. So if you have messed up the settings and this unit is behaving abnormally, come to this factory reset, do a reset, and it should solve the problem. So to exit, press and hold the right button and you are back to the main page. I will now introduce you a very cool feature added on a car OBD gauge. This meter has a built-in inclinometer and it will measure your tilt and bang angle in real time. This is a very cool addition if you are driving an SUV or 4x4 off-road vehicles. It will measure your tilt and bang angle in real time and gives you a warning if it goes above a certain limit. So this light bar will also work with your speed or RPM, whichever you choose to be tagged with. So as you drive, as your speed increases, the blue color will slowly change through purple and then to red as you are nearing the speed limit. Or if you tag it to your RPM, it will be the same. On low RPM, it will be blue color, and as it reaches your RPM limit, it will slowly turn to red color, and afterwards a flashing red as an alarm. The red alarm will also come on if it goes above your preset water temperature limit or your car battery voltage drop below a certain preset value.